Okay, I think the microphone's coming across loud. If there's any crowd, please let me know now. But Jerry had jumped up. Do we need to open Sion? Did we have a special night?
I think Mabel gonna join us, but I got same bug from my mobile version of Discord. I just can't see people's
Yeah,
for some reason.
I think it's not your bug. I think
okay.
same issue. So that's why I keep quit and in, quit and in. I see the same problem.
Wow.
All right, so I can open up the problem is hundreds of requests in there as well. So there's no need to unless you're coming on stage.
I can't hear you very clear. I'm not sure
because Brown Dog is at Grace, so the internet connection is a bit sketchy.
So
okay.
let me turn a couple more things off. I'll try and fix it up a bit.
Yeah, in Grace. Okay. Hello.
Yeah, in Greece and on the laptops. I'm on a Wi-Fi, but I've tried different ones, so we just hope comes through okay. I can hear you guys. How about now? Does it sound any better?
A little bit.
Dog, have you tried use your phone as a hotspot Wi-Fi?
Yeah, it's even worse because I went and got two different to put in to see whether I could between two if need be, but the actual hotel Wi-Fi is better than mobile phone. I've got a couple of things I can turn off, which might have a problem.
Yeah, I think you can start as a solo mode.
I'm definitely recording, so definitely welcome along for everybody on stage. We've got questions started. We've got a possible special guest coming on stage. It's been a good week. It's been a good week of consolidation. It's been also a trying week for some people with things like 2FA. We'll talk about that. We'll get into it a little bit as well. But there's lots happening. We did see the update posted. We saw GST daily earnings go up. Not everybody's had the experience as actively using it, but once you get that 90% cap, you'll see a little function come on your bar, and it's 300 GMT, and then that increases your daily cap by 20, and then it goes up, and you can increase it by another 20 and 20 and 20 and so forth. But welcome onto stage, Mabel joining in now, of course, Jorn and Jerry. We'll just start off with Jorn first. Jorn, how was your week?
Yeah, pretty good. Can't complain. Yeah, we roll out a quick update, and we're gonna roll out a few more. Hopefully next week.
So with the quick update, that was the GST cap increase, the 2FA. We've got a transaction history bit as well. Was there anything else that was put into the update, Jorn, that's coming out in the next week or so?
Yeah, so next week we are looking at different kind of update, and we'll let people know when we are closer to the update.
Very cool, very cool. We'll go through some of that afterwards. We'll just welcome to stage Jerry. How's your week been, Jerry?
Yes, pretty good. The same. Keep busy and pretty good.
I love it. I love it, man. A few words, but you've got a big team now, Jerry. It's it must have been a fairly busy one for you with the updates of 2FA. A lot of tickets. We saw a lot of announcements through our main Discord, of course, with errors. And today, I believe there was one in the last 24 hours from Gilgamesh regarding some delays with those particular requests. So it's a trying time getting in these new features like the 2FA. Yes.
Yes, and for the 2FA issue, someone just someone just deleted the Google saying or the app and without effect the 2FA the phrase, and we will probably will release the solution next week. And also, I think the transaction delay has been improved a lot with the transaction history. So you can see if it's if there's the network congestion, you can see it's still impending status. So I think it helped a lot, right?
Yeah, it's definitely trying for people with 2FA, and it's good. This is ultimately something the community wanted, was the 2FA. But keep in mind, it's a beta project, it's a beta game, and there's going to be a little bit of teething error as well. Some people haven't used it before and might delete it by accident, and then have to try to retrace those steps. So that's very good. Thank you, Jerry. And Mabel, welcome to stage. Mabel, this is your very first time joining us on a weekly AMA. Welcome along. How are you?
Good. Thank you, Barn Dog. How are you doing? And great to be here. I've been a fly on the wall for a while over the past few weeks.
Yeah, definitely want to get in and talk to you, Mabel. It's awesome to be able to welcome in new team members along, and we absolutely love getting them in and talking to them and seeing all about what they do at STEPN and all of that. But I guess let's get straight into it then, if you're ready to go, Mabel, and we can talk with Jorn and Jerry straight after about the week of updates and all of that. But as the Chief Revenue Officer now is the title I believe you've taken on at STEPN. But where were you before STEPN? I believe it was Multicoin. Did you want to do a little bit of a chat and introduce yourself to the community as to your previous history?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for throwing the question here. So I actually knew the team quite a while ago. Back in 2018, the end of 2018. So when they actually first wanted to build this product, they came to me first and we chatted about it. I was very excited. I was like, this is actually a very interesting mechanism to onboard people. Obviously, there were a lot of people who tried the same thing. We were lucky. I guess we did a lot of things right, but at the same time, obviously, we were lucky in having the right time, and then we were here. A little bit about myself. I joined. I was at Multicoin before joining STEPN as a chief revenue officer, as you mentioned. Multicoin is a thesis-driven investment firm, primarily investing in crypto. We do invest in a lot of Web3 related protocols, mostly infrastructure layer and middleware. So then, I definitely been chatting with John and Jerry a lot over the past 9 months or so, and then was always very excited about the vision, and then really think this is a great opportunity, and we can have a huge vision from here to go. Obviously, it will take time, but so that's why I'm really joining, and I wanted to, obviously build a lot of the externality and positive economic, I guess, sources building into the product. That's really why the name is called Chief Revenue Officer. I can expand on that a bit more, but I'll pause here.
Yeah, so I guess, like you're saying, going deeper into the revenue for STEPN rather than just basic partnerships with shoe companies and stuff like that. So really, it's branching out and finding completely new avenues that we may not think about in the mainstream. Yeah.
Right. So as of today, I think a lot of people, regardless being in Web3 native, coming from the Web2 world, the primary question they had about STEPN was who was paying for these people who are earning. Obviously, right now, the sneakers transactions, it's highly liquid. And then we've gotten very, I'd say, stable income source from that. But with that being said, we don't think that is going to be the only revenue source, because otherwise it would just limit ourselves within an internal system. The way we think about ourselves is really to drive a lot of additional revenue sources coming out from outside of the NFT sneaker marketplace. So there were a few things I'll just throw out there, like, some of the ideas that we have. Some of those are not going to be happening in a short period of time, but definitely are interesting. Some of them would probably be something happening here imminently, but I would try to keep it relatively high level so that we don't leak too much detail from here. So first of all, I think we all agree at STEPN, we all agree that it's pretty pivotal. NFT is pretty pivotal for any kind of interaction with the metaverse or with the Web3 world. So we all think that the NFT, not just sneaker NFTs, but some of the other NFTs, including the utility ones that unlock some of the real world, as well as some of the other things that represent your credentials on chains and whatnot, are going to be very interesting. And obviously, there are also some other kinds of like PFP that are kind of representing some narrative and also your identity within that specific community. So we believe that we are here to unlock a lot of the newly onboarded Web2 users who came into this space because of NFT, because of STEPN, and then try to unlock them a bigger digital world that they never tapped into. I think that's one, right? And second, I think we all know that STEPN is very focused on carbon offsetting, health, and whatnot. So I think this is very in line with a lot of other consumer brands and luxury brands. And I think in addition to building the co-branded NFT collections, there are a lot of ways that we become the Web3 login for a lot of brands. I'm going to keep it a little bit vague here. But what I meant was definitely beyond just revenue split or any of the other royalty split that we had with some of the existing partnerships. It's going to be us providing the Web3 login as the non-custodial wallet and some of the other infrastructure, and then to enable and empower some of the users from the Web2 brands to unlock and then the experiences that they can have for the Web3 world. I think that's second. The third part, I think that's kind of a little bit traditional, and I think this is not very hard. There are a lot of health insurance companies that are already, paying for the services, the type of services called slow sickness management. What that means is that a lot of these health insurance companies, they actually want to optimize their subscribers to exercise and whatnot, so that in the future, when they have to pay for the health insurance, they can actually pay less, right? That's just kind of very obvious. So similarly, I think there are a lot of insurance company who would be very interested in working with STEPN and try to get this straight for them. Because I think one of the challenge for them right now to run a lot of these incentivization programs for people to work out is that it's really hard to monitor whether someone actually did something, and also it's just not very straightforward. In fact, AIA, they had a vitality program. They asked people to wear the wearables, and you'll unlock a lot of the offers and whatnot, like when you are doing things in the real world. But now if they have STEPN, I think that's obviously going to be much easier. I think the fourth, which is also a longer way, I want to keep this a little bit vague as well, because I think this is absolutely something pretty futuristic, which is, I think we have a lot of interesting data about these people, the users, the loyal community members. But I think as we are a Web3 company, there are a lot of ways for our users to basically monetize from their attention. What that means is that today our users say they spend 30 minutes a day in our app, or even an hour, and then they are monetizing just from their exercising. But imagine if some of the local vendors, they can do credential-based advertisement, meaning that, let's say you run 30 minutes today, and then you can unlock 10% off of the offer. That's really how we are doing things very differently from a lot of the other Web2 platforms, because we are providing this platform to the users to monetize from their attention, not letting ourselves, which is the platform, monetize it. So then, at the end of the day, users' attention is the only scarce commodities in the world. And I think that's going to be an extremely huge vision. But I'm going to not talk too much about this, because obviously this is not something that we would explore in the near future. But this is definitely an option that we want to keep it open. I'm going to stop here for now.
I like it. There's a lot of information for people to be able to go through and look at later. So, I mean, figures we've been hearing this week, and Jorn could probably double up on this, was from the Gemini AMA. It's something like 30% of new users at the moment into STEPN are not crypto savvy. So their first experience into crypto is via STEPN. So we are unlocking a whole new batch of people coming into crypto, and the potential is really boundless. So you're talking about health insurance companies, but surely there would be many government arms and legs of even health would like to have something like STEPN behind them.
We're actually talking
Absolutely.
to a few universities, probably doing some explorations on that part as well. So yeah.
Yeah, and the universities, Jorn, is that about the health and well-being, the mental health
Yeah.
side effects of the game? Because I mean,
Yep.
it's something that once you started playing it for a long time and doing it and using it, obviously you notice it a lot more. So I can definitely see why it would want to be studied out. Hopefully, obviously for better purposes and stuff like that. But what you're saying there, Mabel, then is that is really cool. So for people that didn't hear it all, you'll be able to unpack that later. Give us a brief overlay, Mabel. How are you going with the game itself? How are you? What sort of levels are you playing it on a daily basis?
I'm actually a pretty heavy player, but I don't have very expensive sneakers. Probably I should gear up myself a little bit more. I am fully 20 energy and 300 GST. Oftentimes I earn somewhere between 100 to 200 GST today, every day. Depends on how much I walk. Yeah, I mean, I was pretty early on. I bought a lot of the sneakers from Magic Eden, actually. That was like the very beginning of the game. And I just afterwards I kept upgrading and everything. And I think it's very important for us who are building consumer products to try it out every day and then report some of the smaller problems we discover on a daily basis.
Yeah, I'm super impressed with that answer. 20 energy, pulling a maximum 300 GST per day. So I concur. I completely agree. If we're going to be talking about it mainstream, if we're going to be advertising the product, we should know it. We should absolutely know it. So it's even today going through Greece, so going through Athens today, and I was really struggling with the speed. I was saying my phone was saying 3 to 4 kilometers, whereas my partner was 5 to 6. And I'm going to her, come on, we've got to speed up. We've got to speed up. And she was telling me off because I was walking too quick. And we've only just landed in Athens. But yeah, it is very cool to see the game. And that's how you do it from playing it. Like it's all well and truly easy to hear it from the community, but when we're playtesting it. So do you run yourself, Mabel, or are you more of a jogger? Use your joggers?
I think my pace is around what I use mile per hour. I'm using 6 miles per hour, so it's 10 kilometers per hour, I think ish.
So that's a good little jog. I like that. So that's with a set of joggers. Then you're saying not expensive, so using uncommon sneakers to hit your 20.
Yeah. So actually, I previously didn't have a uncommon trainer. I've been using trainers most of the time because after I jog, I can also walk and whatnot. But we have something very exciting coming up in terms of the influencers that we're working with. It's a very cool initiative. So I actually for that sponsorship we actually bought rare sneakers for them. So as I bought for that for them, I actually figured that I should buy rare.
It's really good to see. It's good to see that you're using the game and benefiting from it as well. And for a lot of us who got in early, it only gets better and better and better. So how about the rest of the game where we're sort of going down Solana and we've now got the Binance side of things, the BSC chain, Mabel. Have you managed to tackle through any of that and seen the benefits from both chains?
Right. So I was very lucky. I've gotten a few Genesis sneakers on Solana chain, so hence I got some of the airdrop, in on BSC. We call BNB chain today. I did manage to get to like level 5 for 2 of my sneakers on BSC, but you know, like it's definitely earning much less. Well, in terms of numbers, GST, not like the absolute dollar. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, and I noticed a small thing. I wasn't sure if that's something I might need to check with Jerry, but I realized that when every single account when it was created, there was a preloaded with 0.5 BNB. Is that setting? I thought that was pretty interesting. It was good education.
Not that I'm aware of. No, I haven't seen that.
Oh, okay. Well, then maybe I just transferred that. I forgot. When I saw that, I was like, okay, that's interesting for people who don't know about the gas concept. Maybe I just transferred it myself and I forgot.
Yeah, the gas is interesting. It's cheaper on a lot of the transactions than I had imagined, so it's been successful. Sometimes we do get failed trades, so the trades are 30 cents, but the rest of the transactions are very, very cheap. I'm talking 3 or 6 cents. So obviously compared to Solana, it's not as cheap, but it's been pretty clean really from the few weeks I've been playing around with it. But that is really cool, Mabel. So so far we're 6 months into the game. You've come on as Chief Revenue Officer. You've been working hard now for a while. You've given us some great insight towards things that you'll be looking forward going forward. What kind of excites you the most with the game, the possibilities of where we are right now? I mean, obviously it's got to be something you can talk about. You can't give us any more alpha, but what kind of excites you the most about STEPN and how it's going in the world at the moment?
Right. So I actually wrote a thread yesterday about what we think STEPN is and then where we think it's gonna be going. I think the biggest thing about this is that obviously there are a lot of XYZ to earn type of thing. But I think particularly with move, meaning walk and run, is that this is something that's highly relevant to most of the population in the world. And then having the ability, well, just having a run or having a job or whatever, actually make you feel good in many things. Obviously, you can spend more time with your family in the AMAs as well, and then you also become fitter, and then you so that you feel like you can flex this about your state with other people on social media. Obviously, also with your sneakers. So like it's social flexing on both fronts, the trendy part and also the fit. And I think for some people who care about environment, it's a really good narrative for them to kind of just like show to the world and also to themselves that, oh, I'm actually doing something for me. I know like not everyone's keen about this, but I think this is like generally something that makes people feel good. And I think that's really why it could become an interesting hook for a lot of people to bridge themselves from Web 2 to Web 3. And also it's like not intimidating, right? Like when you like try to get someone to borrow from the money market, just like automated AMM, like market maker. It's kind of hard to convince them because like why do I do that to begin, right? But like for a normie, if you just start with say like, oh, you can make money from this, and then afterward, like from running and from walking, and after that, like every day they kind of repeat the process of like, oh, I'm gonna swap, I'm gonna use gas, and so like they are more familiar with the concept that you need to be equipped with if you want to kind of interact with it. So I think it's a very nuanced way to onboard people.
Yeah, you are right there, Mabel. It's a total product, like it's got the social aspects, it's got the real world aspects, and the family side of it's something that is just you cannot really put a price on the time you get with your family, whether it's your children, your partner, even with parents. We're seeing a lot of children giving their parents sneakers, and it's rekindling those sort of things. But you are cutting out a little bit, so we'll hold it there. I just had a couple of people saying it's a little bit hard to hear at the moment, but that is really cool to have you on stage. We're about 20 minutes in. We're not far into our AMA, but I think maybe Jorn, if we talk about the last week, updates, and then we've got a whole heap of questions from the crowd as always, and we'll knock out some of those this week. But with the week just gone, we've had the GST. We've seen some flexing, like Mabel's just said as well. We've seen some flexing, and you joined it this week as well, Jorn, with getting those bad boy joggers on the tweets.
Yeah, I have to rest the second day for that. It was I never jog with that much energy. So,
could you talk a little bit about, I know there's a lot of questions already about the GST earnings, and I've seen it where you get up to that 90%, and for 300 GMT, you unlock an extra 20 GST total. And then for another 420, it's another 20, another 540, it's another 20 again. So that's going to be a repeating process, is it? And is there a cap is it 650 is the cap or something like that?
I personally was up to 540, and I haven't hit the cap yet because the technical team doesn't tell me where the cap is, and they pretty secrecy on the number as well. So probably again, I think that's how we roll. So people just need to find out themselves. I'm probably gonna try up to 600. So I'll just basically be resting. I think I'll try another 25 energies just to see what's going to happen beyond 600. Maybe 650 if I try. I did a calculation. I probably can hit 650 with 25 energies.
I like for the people out there thinking he's got these epic sneakers, and he's one of the co-founders. I reckon it's amazing. So you're actually game testing. This is probably the most I've seen you game testing since really December. So you're really getting out and putting some time into it and having a play around with that. So let's talk about though how that links up with both chains. So the GST maximum cap is shared between both chains. Does that mean by doing the GST increase with your GMT use case, that then means if you were to pivot onto to the BSC side of things, that cap's still the same if you've spent it on Solana?
Okay, so the cap is shared, but I think we are actually looking at the energy and other mechanics may not be shared. So we basically are revisiting all this. So at the moment, I think the GST cap is shared.
And then what about, say, for example, the new use cases that are going to come along, which will be twin minting, gem percentage increase, getting a higher level sneaker out of your shoe boxes? Yeah. Are they going to be shared as well?
Most likely no. And because if that is shared, then you will have, because for example, that a rare sneaker going to probably cost much more on the BSC chain as you just got started, and but it's not as much of the case in the Solana chain. So we are looking at probably separate the cost. So if people want to have Solana and BSC have the same sort of mechanic effect, they're going to have to pay twice. But then we also have to look at the cost of it to reflect that people are not going to spend too much as if they want to having the same effect on both chains.
Yep. I like it. Now, I guess other things that came out through the week, and I said at the beginning, it'd be good to touch on it. Jerry did a little bit with the 2FA. That was another big one for the week to come out. Did you want to touch on that, Jorn, Jerry, or you guys are happy with that, and we'll keep moving on?
We're pretty happy with the 2FA. People are asking for it. I mean, this I think particularly where we see a lot of people never sort of come across cryptos. I have a bit of a struggle, or people that never got hacked. Is that why I'm not using this? And we've been hearing a lot of that during the week. But we understand that it's really important now in the really if people want to get serious in cryptos, they have to use 2FA to protect their assets, and also with a lot of the hacking event. That could be prevented almost 100% with the 2FA. So very important. So probably we're gonna address the people that having their 2FA deleted and those issues. But I think that is a must for anybody that gonna take it seriously in this space.
And I know there's been another one though where it's been forced onto people. So there's an error coming in on some of the wallets where it's asking them for a 2FA and they haven't actually connected one onto the program. So people are still just doing the normal stuff, are they not? They're putting in a bug report and just waiting for the team to get to them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I do just want to highlight while I'm mentioning that now is for anybody putting in a ticket system, if someone whispers you from Discord, from Telegram, from Twitter, anywhere, and they claim to be someone from the team and they ask you for personal details, you don't give it to them. There are always scams in the system during these times, people trying to take advantage of people that are genuinely waiting on things to be fixed. So follow the procedure, make sure when you're getting your tickets reported that you're not giving away private details that you don't need to. There's another big push as of recent, Jorn, we're seeing pushing into Strava. How are we looking with the Strava side of things? I've been trying to install mine and it's a bit weird. I can't work it out, but Strava's a big one for the running community and cyclist community as well. So how are we looking with the Strava side of things?
I think reaching to the Web 2 is always been one of the primary sort of objective, and I think Strava then it become actually a pretty good channel, with their social reach and people also being really active. So it's almost that giving us a pretty good sort of a gateway to get to the people that are serious about fitness and runnings.
Well, I guess I've got one more thing before we go into open comments from yourself, Jorn, and start getting into questions. But we've heard more about the scrolls this week and giving some alpha out in AMAs. The minting scrolls we know are going to take one per parent sneaker. And if you've got a common and an uncommon mint, then you need one of each. Potentially, though, we're still not sure on how that's happening. So whether it's going to be coming out of a mystery box or whether there's a new feature. But I think it sounds like we're looking at having it implemented in the next major update. You're saying in the next week, yeah?
Yeah, that's correct. Actually, having a series of discussion as of today, and we are pretty much set to have the minting scroll from the mystery box. Basically, it will be a further sort of a buff to the lock system. And I think we've been buffing the lock for the past couple weeks already with the gem buff and now with the minting scroll. Yeah.
So
by the way, excuse me. The meeting scroll will not be updated, in the next patch update. I think it will be the one after.
Okay.
All right, so
yeah,
definitely not this week then, Jerry. That's going to be too rough. Just not this week, I guess, is the answer.
not this week. This week we will release another update, but not for the meeting scroll. Another one.
Another one.
I can't
some secret
I can't
stuff
tell
there.
you.
Come on, tell us more. Tell us more, Jerry.
Anything. But I can tell you, it's a good one. It's a good thing. Good stuff. You will love it. Everyone will love it.
Everyone will love it. So that. Sorry,
this is
Yeah. Go ahead.
I mean, this is the update. Really, I think highlights the phase 4, and it is update. We actually been working at the background for a couple months already. So
a big milestone.
Big milestone. Yeah.
So phase 4. I mean, it's really about representing how you guys want the game to work. People getting outside and being fit and exercising and doing it. And we've talked about the minting scrolls as part of that. But it's actually physically getting people outside to use the game as intended. So any extra hints for that, or this is just one of the milestones you guys are really, really happy to hit into the game and see come out then?
Yeah, I think what I can share is a time frame. I think very likely you will see it during next weekend. Sorry.
Still a bit of
yeah,
a cough
next weekend.
there, Jerry. Very cool. Very cool. Yawn. So is there anything else you want to touch on then in the previous week or the upcoming week before we start getting into some crowd questions? We've got heaps on stage as always.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of can share some sort of developer sort of ideas that were like what we've been thinking for the past months. Past weeks. One thing that we have addressed is the meeting scroll that's gonna come from the mystery box, and also that we are now reassessing the energy system. That the Solana chain's energy is fully shared to the BSC chain. So we're thinking about maybe in the next couple of months we will address that, but we want to collect more information of how we will maybe adjust the energy system. So the discussion was concluded for today that we're going to need to have further look on this, but I think we're starting to monitor and collect data from next week and make more sort of assessment. And also, we've been contemplating on the panda skin. So we want to make it sort of a, what can I say, a seasonal or like maybe like a regular, not regular, but pseudo regular event. So we'll release other type of skin, but with panda skin, people will not only get, I think, the panda skin by burning the gems. So we want to make it a bit more special, so that something to do with the sneaker sockets. So we're probably going to release more details next week to talk about it. But we were looking at sort of a dual system, right? So when people are burning gems, they are not only get a small chance of have a sort of a cosmetic improvement, but they are actually getting some functional improvement as well. So I think we can sort of touch that more next week when we have more details. But that will be the general direction of design for the panda skin. That will be released after the meeting scroll. And also we have witnessed a very interesting phenomenon actually with how people are protecting the price of the GST so that they can mint at a certain ratio between the GST and GMT. So that is actually a fun observation. We didn't thought about it when we implement the dynamic pricing structure, but now looking at it is
Was that on shorting GMT this week? Is that GMT?
No. So when the GST price within a certain range, the minting cost ratio going to change. Let's say, for example, between below $2, $3 to $4, $4 to $5, above $10.
So obviously that's active at the moment, and we've got a I believe it's a 20% on Binance at the moment, and 20% GST, and then the rest is 80% is GMT. But you're saying people have been adjusting how they're holding on to the GST, have they, to keep the prices at certain points?
You're starting to see that people starting to buy GST so that they can keep the price afloat above $10, which they can get a lower cost because there is I think a larger portion on the GMT burn. So it's actually quite interesting observations.
Yeah, I noticed that today GST on BSC had gone to $13.50. That was a really it had gone down to $9.50 at one stage, then went above $10, and this was I didn't have a last 24 hours. I've been flying, so I haven't got to monitor as heavily as I usually do. And I threw it today, and I thought, wow, $13.50, it's gone up, and more people are minting. More and more people are minting. GST
lots of people
on that chain.
Yeah, sorry, lots of people rushing to the Binance chain, and the user growth on Binance chain is crazy. I can see it.
Yeah, so people actually pay too much attention on the Solana chain, but actually the BNB chain growth starting to pick up really, really quickly.
Yeah, it's definitely. I saw the prices come down in the last 24 to 36 hours for the sneakers, but they're still phenomenally higher than what it is in comparison to Solana. So I guess then to wrap up on, not wrap up, but to talk about the Binance while we're on it. Is the team fairly happy with how the dynamic minting has adjusted that? But then saying what you are now with GST and people buying it to keep the price there, does that mean there needs to be more intervention to get that GST price further down? Or is, like you said last week, you don't want to touch the GST price, you're just going to leave the dynamic minting?
We actually, we have done a lot of observations, and we have seen very interesting things. So originally we are pretty tough on, say, the prices and so on and so forth. But after the observation and some study of how this system works, we have actually some more new ideas. So basically, there will be no interventions, and because we are implementing a different system almost, which will be correlated with what Maple was saying. So I think we will release the new system once we are confident. So there's some new development, I think, in how we design the mechanics, and we are quite happy with the new development.
And another
to clarify,
is...
sorry, excuse me. To clarify, we are not going to change the dynamic minting system, and we're pretty happy with the result, and I think the system protects the whole ecosystem very well, and we just love it.
Yeah, definitely big props on the dynamic. I don't think anybody saw it coming like that, and it's been amazing. The side effect, though, it still got me nervous, thinking, is this GMT burning event is the gate to AQ? Are we opening the gate soon, Jorn and Jerry? Like, how nervous should we be if we don't have sneakers ready to go for GMT earning?
I think actually I haven't thought about this. The GMT are burned quite heavily at the moment, but I think it's still a bit away from the GMT earning, and also there are several major GMT burning events, and mechanic hasn't been sold. But I actually was thinking about maybe we are not gonna be only looking at how much GMT are burned for the earnings. So with GMT earning, I think we are looking at a bit later this year, once we are happy with the amount of GMT are burned. So yeah. So I think to answer the question is that we are now officially looking into assessing on when and providing with the current circumstances of the entire crypto industry.
Big alpha there. That is awesome. So anything else you want to touch on, Jorn, before we start going to these crowd questions? There's heaps. There's a good amount to get through.
Let's answer some questions. Yeah.
By the way, Jorn,
Hmm?
Have you discussed about the energy? Or
that's
do
one
you
of the
prefer
first
not?
Jorn's touched on, that it might be a change, but you didn't really go any deeper into how you're potentially changing it.
Yeah, so I think to touch on that is to have fully 100% Solana energy transferable to the BSC might not be what we are looking at in a long-term sort of setting. So, which was also the same reason we're thinking about to adjust having different chain have their own sort of burn GMT to get like double minting, or burn GMT to get a higher chance to have a higher quality sneakers.
Yes, and in the next following 4 weeks, we're not going to change anything on the energy share between different chains. So don't worry about the energy changing.
So that's some really good news there. I like that, Jerry. So you basically, and I think you touched on it last week, is any big core game changes, you're going to give the community a good amount of time. So this is really you guys letting us know that you're thinking about it at the moment, but that's a delayed time until you're fully happy to roll it out.
Yeah, you guys have at least 4 weeks to keep everything the same. We just keep everything the same in the next following 4 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, because by that speed, I mean, there will be much more users on the BSC chain, in 4 to 6 weeks. So the landscape
really,
might be different.
Having that shared energy was one way for anyone that got the Genesis drop, like most people that would have a Genesis sneaker and had kept that inherent 150, 200 Solana value, would be maybe a higher end user. So they would be able to pivot and start minting a bulk amount of GST. So it's how we're going, I guess. It's definitely interesting to see how it's going to work down the track. That's for sure. And I mean, when you've got a level 6 pair of common joggers making more than your level 30 that's maxed out to level 30 with 3, 4 yellow gems in it, was a bit weird. But one here from Lucas, our French ambassador: is there a plan to have more notifications in the app? So when a sneaker finishes, when a mint's ready, all of these kinds of things, so we're not missing out on timers.
Notification is an entire system that we haven't built yet. As you can see, it's in the white paper. I think we are now focusing on more sort of important elements, and I think that's going to be rolled out after the achievement system, which will be the main goal in the Q3. So we're looking at probably a Q3-ish time frame.
All right, so one from Jew: when will the next update roll out? But you've kind of answered that. We're going to have one in the next week, yeah?
We're aiming for next weekend because we are testing quite intensively on the new features, and we want to make sure that it is perfect when we doing the upgrade.
There's a good one here from Streamroll Noobs. When buying a shoebox, can we get the visible gem slots of the parent shoes? So much like now, we can at least see that it's a jogger or a walker, the parents. Can we possibly see the gem colors as well?
Can we do that, Gary? I haven't thought about that actually, but
it is a good piece of information to know in looking at the potentials.
I lost for a second. Sorry, what's the question? Can we change what?
Like we see with the parent sneakers, we understand what type they are. Is there a possibility of knowing what the sockets of the parents are?
Parent sockets.
So if both parents have 4 lots of resilience gems, and you're going to get something with pretty horrible matchup.
Yeah. I will write down. I think about it.
I
think it's interesting. It's an interesting stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to have something come out in the AMA where the team may not have thought about it, and they can write it down and look at it later. Because I mean, it makes sense to me straight away.
Yep.
All right. I don't understand this question. Clarifications of the dynamic minting price. How exactly is it done? So we know that when the price changes, when GST goes down, then we use less GMT. Updates for Trailblazers. I guess someone's going to ask it at some stage. Do we have an update on Trailblazers?
On Trailblazers, I think now we have the upgrade down for people to increase their caps. It's a matter of time for us to roll it out. Jerry? I think we can start looking at it. Sorry?
Yeah.
We can start looking at it to roll it out in the next, if not one, but let's say in the second update.
With Trailblazers, we saw something like 5,200 wallets for the GMT airdrop. What are the numbers like roughly for actual triple earnings? So was it 20,000, 40,000?
I don't think we have that much this is like February, right? So we might not have that much of a user base as much as I recalled. So I think
it was a lot less tickets to get the actual triple earnings compared to a GMT.
I think we have thousands. I think we have thousands of people, as I recall. I'm not sure. Between 1 and 3,000.
Well, it was 5,200 for GMT, so it's definitely going to be more than that.
5,200.
All right, so new GMT use cases potentially in this next update in the next week?
New GMT use cases. I think the next one we are looking at more of mechanic and system update. It's almost like when we doing the server update. So it's something that probably going to change how people use the app. I think with the GMT use case, it's going to be at the following update.
All right. There is a couple of questions here. We've answered the GMT. It was before the question there, so can we get some more clarification? We've had that tonight. Death by Khan has asked the question here. The triple earning event, will that be open to the rest of the people, just the Genesis sneaker holders? It actually wasn't a Genesis sneaker holder buff or event. It was based on energy used up until February 23rd. So just to clarify on that a little bit more, if you used your energy from the beginning, you could have had one common sneaker and it could have been a minted sneaker that you bought in December. If you used one with 2.0 energy every day, you would then get yourself eligible for the triple earning event. And it was mentioned last week. I guess we could go over that again, on how there's the FOMO event. That's the next snapshot for the people after the FOMO, after the Trailblazers. That's the next kind of user base of people that are be benefiting and getting a bonus from coming into the game.
Yeah, we're rolling out this on incremental basis. So the first batch of the old user perk will be people joining the game between the December to sort of late February. And then I think the second batch will be something from the late February up until the next time we're doing the event. So we're looking at more of a formal event, and we actually discuss of in which way. Obviously, we're going to do it almost like the same structure with the ticket system, and we will reward people for certain behavior. I think that's how much I can say.
Yeah, it was good to have that last week as well for people to go back and listen to the GMT breakdowns for the tokenomics as well. So what Jorn's touching on there is there's a 30% of the GMT that is there for people used in the game and for encouragements and drops. There is a few questions here from Mr. Deadpool. GMT on Binance burned on and Solana. So hang on. Is GMT issued on Binance burned on Solana?
Okay, so I think that's the clarification we have to make. So either Jerry want to address that, or I can do it. Jerry, what's your opinion? You want me? Okay, sure. All right. So what happened is that Binance will do this on their behalf. So we have been communicating with Binance that they have to burn the Solana equivalent to how much people are burning on the BNB chain. So it's not what we can do, but we are actually urging Binance to do it. So they're going to do it in the future.
Another question here was GMT for the Schadenfreude pools and the GMT staking for those. They'll be towards the end. So are we talking potentially over 4 weeks' time for the Schadenfreude pools to worry about those?
Schadenfreude pool, that will be the one roll out the last. So we actually are talking about internally of the redistribution of the attribute point for the next GMT use cases. And once we have done that, we'll starting to move on to the twin, the higher quality, and then we're going to move into the Schadenfreude pool, which actually we are making a addition on the Schadenfreude pool, so that we'll update more details on that next week. So a third Schadenfreude pool is in design, and we can talk about that next week.
Just dropping bombs here. Jorn, you're just dropping bombs. I love that. So reallocation of points. I want to highlight on that because it's something that everyone's keen on. That looks like one of the next major ones, and that we're going to come out. So Jerry, he's going to be nervous now.
What? What's the question? Sorry, I'm nervous.
That's all right. You didn't hear. That's okay.
That's all right. So have we considered? I mean, obviously we have. So the Nike 500 clubs, There's a lot of really big tournaments and stuff coming around the world. Funnily enough, in 2 weeks' time, we've got the Paris event, and the following day was the Adidas 10-kilometer event that we've signed on. A lot of the people going to the Paris event for STEPN will be going to the Adidas the next day. So have we had any partnerships that possibly we can talk about? Because it's hard, isn't it? Even you might have these planned in the works, but you can't really talk about them until they're announced by both parties.
Yeah, we so basically, this is hard, right? So we are engaging with a lot of brands at the moment, so we're gonna roll it out when we are allowed to talk about it. I think we have same questions over and over, but again, if I say something, then I got into major trouble. So
yeah, all right, we'll keep going. How about a GMT burn utility to increase the energy cap? That's a new one.
That doesn't make sense. I mean, the energy is kept at this design because we don't want people over exercising. Increasing that will be something that we might not looking at to do. It's almost like you may make this kind of decision almost like when you're doing like commit to level 70, right, in World of Warcraft. We are at level 60, so that would be because
But we see now that obviously with the multi accounts, we can have a second account. So some people are doing it anyway. So it's an interesting one, isn't it? But I don't know. You never know.
Yeah, but then it's something that we cannot endorse.
Yeah, I like how you're holding firm on that, Yorn, because 100 minutes a day is a lot of exercise, isn't it? It's to then have people going for 3 hours a day, and that's part of the game. Yeah, I guess with that makes sense. Someone's looking forward to the panda skin, where I will do a bit of cosplay by the sounds of it. I do like that. There's a bit of alpha on the panda skin. Definitely go back to that if people haven't heard it. Get the download. GST use cases are so low right now. I don't really understand how someone could say that, but I think more use cases for GST burning would be good. Example, not using your mint scroll. Oof, I don't know. I guess, would you disagree or agree with that, Yorn? Because GST on Binance, for example, where 80% of the mint cost is currently GMT and the token's going up. So it kind of does say that even on Binance, the GST, the use case is huge.
Yeah, I mean, the price is totally low, right? So on the Binance, the price is higher. The GST, people have to understand that the long-term goal is that GST will be something that's transitory, so that people need GST to get to the level 30 where they can earn a GMT. So we do believe that the GMT will having much better use cases or more use cases down the track. So GST is something that have infinite supply. So when people are hitting level 30, we do want to encourage people to earn the GMT instead of GST. So, GST might appear to be higher in the price, but people have to remember that this is something that have infinite supply. So yeah, bear in that mind.
And I mean, there are things. I've had the question. I did skip it and kept going. But I mean, the team could pivot to doing things like repairs could become used from GMT. You can alternate things like that within the game. Is that potentials down the track if you need to do those things? That's other ways of doing use cases for GMT.
Sorry.
I think currently the model of the whole system is running very well. I don't think we should change any the major part. Yeah, I'm just finishing.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is a question: how can we sign up for live events? A lot of the live events will be in Discord. If you check the event tab, and there should be an Events Bright thing. So we've got lots of live events. I think the Korean one was today. We've got Athens next week on the 28th. We've got Wednesday this week is Miami. Then on the 4th there's Paris and New York City. So there's lots and lots going in. You should definitely be checking the events tab as well. And stepnworld.com is another one that's getting updated and a bit of love to it as well.
And also we are doing a few ad hoc one during the crypto conference.
Where are they, Jon?
So I think we're gonna do one at Consensus, and there was a few others. I forgot where it is actually. I think in the US basically.
Yeah. Let me talk about a little. I think we're gonna organize a run in during the time of Consensus. That's in Austin. It's June the 9th, I believe, if I wasn't mistaken. And we will actually also be present at the NFT library during that period. Those through 4 days. Feel free to check it out.
So that was June 9 for Austin, Texas, yeah?
Yeah, I'll come back with written confirmation. But yes, it'll be in the morning.
I like that. Reserve the date, or at least keep an eye on it. It's good. I know we've heard a lot of Texas talk in the last probably week and a half, 2 weeks for the community and that. Being in the middle of where all our ambassadors are, as well as they're all in different places than Texas. Big country, big country. Today, a community member observed that 43 million GMT spawned from nowhere and transferred to a wallet. Could we publish the GMT reserve plans periodically? Publish some figures on that, Jon.
The GMT reserve are being disclosed in the white paper, and that is where we hold the ecosystem fund. And we haven't moved any of it. So I think that large lump sum of GMT was moved by Binance, which we've been doing some researches, and apparently that they're running out of GMT and they have to move something from the Solana chain to the BNB chain.
I like it. The answers that. Who is Mabel? Excuse my ignorance. M Stiff for missing that. That's all right. You missed that at the start. Mabel, Chief Revenue Officer for STEPN. How are you going with it now, Mabel? Listening to an AMA, this was your first one. You've been through it. Is there anything you've kind of seen highlighted tonight that is out of the ordinary, or you listen to these every week yourself? So anything different?
It's definitely cool to speak up here. I've been using my pseudo account, so I actually specifically register a new one for this one. It's cool. It's cool. It's great to chat with all of you.
So, do you any reason behind your avatar picture there? McDonald's. You've got some chips. You've got a cone. Is this a bit of a secret? You like getting a feed at the end of it? You're a bit of a fast food addict.
Let me share the story behind. So, my previous profile pic was Jigglypuff. That was just a pure Jigglypuff, and then I think it was last year. There was a market crack. There was a market drawdown, and then a friend of mine, they produced a bunch of McDonald's themed PFP just because like they're joking about like, we're gonna all work at McDonald's, and I asked them to make me one as well. That's it.
Right. Lots of talk regarding the GST, GMT. Guess we'll start to wrap it up. We have gone over. Not really a question. Therefore, my question is there a set amount of GMT per day? That we know. Is it possible to ensure there is enough lend at the end of the day, not too much, or is it GMT per divided? All right, so someone asking about the GMT and how it's worked out. But I guess to clarify that a little bit more, Jon, we know about the Bitcoin bomb. This may potentially change now from listening to tonight's AMA. But the one question I had on it is the daily earnings across Solana and Binance will make the entirety of what's earning at that minute. Every minute we know there's a certain amount to earn. Is that going to be across both chains and divided?
At the moment, the design is for both chains. So the GMT earning will be shared, this is the current design. We could change it in the future, but at the moment, we will distribute a fixed number of GMT per day, and then people will have to basically compete to earn it, because it will not make sense. Let's say if less people on BNB chain, and the BNB chain will earn more GMT. Maybe it makes sense, but at the moment we want to do it in a unified sort of a manner.
It just makes it hard thinking at the moment, like you wouldn't buy a GMT earner on Binance. I just couldn't see why you would, because if it's shared between the two, then it's cheaper to buy the shoe, the gems, and everything on Solana, isn't it?
I mean, it's all about balance, because BNB chain earning a huge return on the GST. I mean, effectively you can say BNB chain, they can earn a GST and then swap it to over GMT, and probably there are more on than the Solana chain anyway. So, so that's purely because the GST price on the BNB chain is much higher. So I think that would be something that we have to actually do more sort of discussion, because again, so ultimately when it comes down to the end, people will earn sort of I think let's say in a couple of months time, right? So the BNB chain and Solana chain probably gonna even out, so it wouldn't make much of a difference.
Well, I guess we'll close down from questions. I've got one more here, which we can probably finish on. It may take a little bit of time, but with other projects stealing STEPN's model, I guess stealing is a hard one, but we're seeing a lot of people that are mimicking and copying the model in not just Move to Earn, but in other games as well, because it's been a revenue a revolution, I guess, in a change compared to things like Axie. But literal copy paste STEPN clones, energy systems, sneaker types, rarities, in-app marketplaces, all of those things. Does the STEPN team own IP to that patent? Like, is it a patent? Is it something that you're going to own IP to?
So it's very hard. It's very hard. I mean, it will be pointless to defend the model. I mean, if it's a working model, really on Web3 people just use it, right? So I think you will have little success defending it, and probably will not even do in our favor. So not going to do it.
I like it. So that just means that as a team, STEPN needs to work harder and be the best app that's actually out there, Move to Earn and modeling in. And this is why we've got people like Mabel coming on board.
Because really, Jared, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. In the past 15 years, every time I made a new product, lots of copycats came, and I never seen any one of them can beat us. But yeah, I'm just thinking, everyone, if you are thinking about the next Web3 product, you're very welcome to learn from us. Don't copy from us. I think learn from us and do it better. Thank you.
I like that, Jerry. Did you want to add to that, Jorn, or are you happy with that? I like that, Jerry. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, people need to find out. Basically, people are asking us a lot. Say, what do you think about this? But really, the main mode of competition really is your user base, right? So, really, the thing is, if people keep copying us, is fine. I mean, at least they should improve on it, right? So then we can learn from them as well. So this is evolving stuff. So I've been talking a lot about we cannot look at things from a static perspective, because then you never make it, right? So you're going to look at things from more of an evolving perspective. And in some cases, I always like to say that, this is time and space, right? So you're going to buy yourself a time, and then you'll create a bigger space. So when you look at things in this way, meaning that there will always be room for improvement, and there will always be room for new players to be part of it. And then it's basically people are learning from each other, right? So if there's a team that can do a better things from us, right? So we will also learn from them. So being protective, and I don't think that would be the way to grow in Web3. No.
I like it. I like it. Well, I guess we have gone 10 minutes over. That's all right. It's been good talk tonight. We've had Mabel joining us, the Chief Revenue Officer at STEPN, Ewan and Jerry, as always. Any closing thoughts tonight? We'll start with Mabel. So any closing thoughts from you tonight, Mabel? Really struggling with
Mabel is going to the moon.
It's moon speaking.
You got worse internet than me in Greece, Mabel.
I can't. Yeah, I don't think she can hear us. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just have to stop it off there. Yeah, thank you, Mabel. Jerry, any closing thoughts from you, my dude?
I'm so excited that Mabel joined us today, and maybe in the following AMAs. And that's pretty much I want to say. And see you next week.
Yeah, I mean, we probably can talk a lot of things. Maybe not next week, but next month. So a lot of I think fundamental upgrade we're gonna roll out, and we're very excited about it. So there are many things that we cannot say, but we're building at the background. So we think maybe not next month, right? So maybe next month. Sorry, not next week, but next month we can talk more about it.
Yeah, I like it. It's good. I guess that can pretty much wrap up there. We've got a whole lot of questions left, and still, really good week. I don't know where to finish off on it. Like there are lots of live events. We've always talked about that. There are lots of live events coming up around the world. STEPNworld.com. Check that out. Check the events tab here in Discord. This week there'll be obviously the live events, like things like the Twitter Spaces Jason and I do. They're still happening. They're going to stick on the same times we've done. I'll just operate my times to manage. But jogging with Barndog will be a little bit different this week from me. It'll be in a 7 a.m. in UTC +3. So for people that can't make it normally through the weeks, come and have a chat to me. We'll still be doing the Monday breakdown of the Binance and the AMAs. But there's plenty of other people in the community, other ambassadors that are writing great articles, great mediums, doing great video content, great game analysis. And it's really cool to make sure you check it out, do a little bit of research, keep up to date with what's going on. And yeah, thank you as always, Jerry and Yawn. And you guys have a great weekend. Sunday tomorrow, and yeah, we'll see what the big week is. Fundamental changes coming out next week.
Yep. It'll be exciting to share some other development of we make. Yep.
And we'll have to keep us posted, Yawn, on the next big walk you're doing, the next big jogging session.
I'll try to. I'll give a try on the 25 energies and see how much.
Big flex picture. Who's got the? So that must mean you've got the better sneakers than Jerry, because we haven't seen Jerry flexing.
Jerry bought. I think Jerry bought a shoebox. I think back when Epic wasn't available, I think he bought one for $9.99, and then he got a uncommon.
Yeah.
Yeah. He bought a rare shoebox and got an uncommon joggers.
Oh, I feel your pain. My last two rare mints.
Two times.
Yeah,
two times.
I've done 5 rares, and I've had 3 uncommon downgrades, and you're just like, oh no. But it's part of the game. It's I bought some rare runners last week, so I want to start running with them, and I'm going to use these to trigger me more. But yeah, thank you, gentlemen. Absolutely amazing. Appreciate it. Next week at our AMA will be after the Greek event, so definitely we'll obviously still be doing it for everybody listening in. But live events, there's Miami on Wednesday, and then we've got Greece, Athens in Saturday next week. So if you are close, local, the Paris one on the 4th as well, absolutely pumped to be able to get there. We've got a lot of ambassadors who are actually going to be at that too. Fire Launcher, our new ambassador for Europe as well. He will be joining in and bringing some people down. So it's really, really cool. This is part of the game pushing into the social fire and just having a good afternoon, doing a bit of a run, talking about the game, having a laugh, getting some shirts, maybe winning some GST. There's going to be sneaker giveaways. So they are live events. Don't sign up to them unless you're physically able to make it. But thank you as always, Jerry and Yorn, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Thank you. I'll see you next week.
Thank you. Bye-bye.